Spiritual whistleblower. Is that you? Spiritual whistleblower. Oh no, it's so embarrassing. It's the Walmart version. No, it's okay. Sorry. Hello, lovelies. Welcome to Narcfreeformula. My name's Freedom. Today I'm going to be talking about who is the narcissist and what is the narcissist mask. I think it's really important that people understand that, when we're talking about these disordered people, the narcissists, we need to understand that they aren't like you or I, and we have a tendency, unfortunately, to sometimes project our own goodness onto people, onto narcissists, and for example, we think to ourselves, we project that goodness about ourselves, that they can get better, they'll change, that everyone's good at heart, all that stuff. It's not actually the case when it comes to the narcissist, and even when the narcissist may appear to be doing better, it's just a shift that they have done with the mask. So getting back to the mask is a figurative term, obviously. It's the face that they put on to the world. So it's part of this illusion and this false construct that they create around themselves and their identity, about their backstory and who they are, where they're from, what they're about, what their values are, the experiences they've had, their philosophy, their ideas, values, goals, all that stuff. So unfortunately, with the narcissist, none of that stuff is concrete, fixed. It's all changeable. It all changes. Most of it is drawn from their life experiences with other people. And what I mean by this is the mask itself, like I said, it's a construct. It's compiled, and a composite that's been compiled from experiences that they've had with other people, experiences that they've had with, or people that they admire, people that they see other people admire, people that they see being given, praise and kudos and reward. So the narcissist will impersonate and assimilate aspects of that person into their own, inverted commas, personality. So the mask, essentially. So for example, the narcissist, like I said, is actually almost like a blank page. Almost, there's an echo and a memory from the last person that they were with. But when they get a new supply, and whoever the audience is, they will adapt themselves to that audience, to the new supply. So if you were a fly on a wall observing them, you would be shocked at how it is, they could be one way with one person and then act completely different with another person, including things that mean stuff. Like, for example, I remember one of my friend's exes, she was a vegetarian, he became vegetarian. And then she came back from holiday one day early and caught him in bed eating fried chicken and smoking cigarettes. So he was supposed to be vegetarian and he was supposed to be a non-smoker. But that was the personality that he put on when he was around her. And so the narcissists, as I said, they collect these different attributes. It might be that they like the way someone does their makeup and they copy that, or the way someone walks, talks, the phrases and language that they use, gestures, or they might even go so far as to, like I said, to steal bits and pieces of people's backstories, or just add things, embellish their own stories, things that happen to them, and it might be some of the stories that happen to them, they might have actually experienced these stories, but in the narcissist retelling of the stories, they're always going to be playing either the victim or the hero. They were never just the bystander in the corner watching the event take place. In their mind, like I said, they have to always make themselves be seen a certain way. They're very big on perception and how we perceive them. And so narcissists will often tell you how to perceive them. So instead of just letting you actually perceive them, they will say things like, I only tell the truth. I tell the truth about everything. I'm a really honest person. And they'll say that kind of stuff over and over. So you might believe it because they said it so many times. But if you know that they're a narcissist, then you would know that they're telling you that because they're trying to, impact upon you. They're trying to imprint this personality upon you so that you believe that they are that. I mean, in my experience, most honest, truth-telling people don't ever actually even say it. It's the people that walk around trying to convince you that they're this way or that they're that way. That's, for me, that's big red flags. So just be mindful of that, because as you know, your former narcissist or your ex-partner or whoever, you're here over is not the only narcissist in the world. Granted, there's only probably one in every 100 roughly suffer from narcissistic personality disorder. But in saying that, at the same time, obviously narcissists don't go and get, don't go and visit the psychiatrist. They don't want to be outed, and they think there's something wrong with them. Anyhow, getting back to the mask. So as I said, for a lot of people, they're saying, imitation is the highest form of flattery. But with the narcissist, it's actually a weirder thing. It's about almost like, it's almost like owning a part of that person or being a better version of that person than they are. It's a highly competitive thing. So on one hand, they are mirroring, so they mirror their partners to have them convinced that that they are similar, that they are alike. But across the board in general, the mask is what they present to the world. Because they can't gauge the way people are going to react to them or the audience, what they do is they kind of pick a personality that they think across a general, if you just play that character across a general audience, that most people will be impressed. So that, they often play the hero. They have someone's story about being brave and standing up and being the hero of the day or whatever. So they often impersonate military. They often have weird little stories that they can't tell you about, when they used to, maybe be in the military or spy, some kind of spy, secretive spy, secret agency, that kind of stuff, They love all that. It doesn't make it real. It is just an imagined and, like I said, then kind of pieced together construct that then they turn around and kind of put out into the world, like, this is me, this is who I am. But it doesn't stand up to scrutiny because their actions and the masks there's never any consistency. When someone, for example, says that they speak the truth and then follows that by making some ridiculous statement about some kind of percentage, 57% of narcissists, come from broken homes. Like, they just make up a statistic on the spot, right? So that kind of thing, that's not truth. That's just a made up statistic. So as I said, saying that you speak the truth and actually speaking truth are two very different things. And over time, the narcissist mask will always slip. They can keep the mask on for a short period of time, but as soon as they're challenged or triggered in any way, and narcissists can even trigger themselves just by thinking about things that make them angry, and all of a sudden this calm, sweet, victim all of a sudden is showing signs of actually being a totally different person, narcissistic and abusive, so the mask slips. Now, as I said, the narcissist is kind of super conscious of public perception, the way they're perceived, and they will do anything that they can to keep control of that image. And so when the mask does slip, they might make up an excuse and a reason why, something happened, that's why they behave that way, but it's not really them. They'll always make sure that we understand it's not really them that we're seeing. It was just a slip up. They're affected by what someone said or what someone did, or, they were in their feels at the moment, in their feelings. But at the same time, as I said, all they're doing is being real slick. Like I said, readjusting the mask real quick. And over time, you will see it. It's hard to see it, when you're up close sometimes, but over time and with distance, you will definitely see the mask, the imitation of other people, the desire to want to be other people, and the desire to impress people, to be respected. And they really seek that. They really seek kudos and praise, and they love, people talking about them. And, that's really important to a narcissist, all of that stuff. So they will, as I said, they will copy people that they see that gets that kind of praise and kudos, etc. All right, so let me just quickly go through my notes. I think that's it. Just to say that this mask also, just quickly, is super fragile. Their ego, it's like their ego, their ego is super fragile, easily damaged. And once the mask has been taken off, that's when they have to move on. So they'll keep that mask in place until the final discard, until there's no, until they're in their mind, until they're absolutely done. But until that point comes, you're going to see a mask. You're going to see versions of, versions of the narcissist, but you never actually see who they really are, except when you have those brief glimpses. The mask will slip and they'll start talking a different way. When I'm mentioning this, I'm thinking about Healing Day by Day, and how when she talks about people, she tries to be really sweet and calm, but then when she loses it, she starts swearing about people and saying really vile things about them. But, because in her mind, she justifies it, that they deserve it in some way. And then she convinces people that, no, they deserve to be spoken to like that. But as I said, then that mask comes back on, and sweet, back to the sweet and humble facade. But as I said, it's an illusion. It's a mask, and it's not reality. No matter how often the narcissist says, oh, this is who I am, believe me, this is who I am. It's not who they are. Don't listen to what the narcissist tells you. Watch what they do. Watch what they do, and time, like I said, time always exposes the narcissist. It's just a matter of when, not if, when. All right, lovelies, thanks for listening.